Hello there, I'm the Biz Manager and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now, today we have a little issue to resolve. As we can see, some of our dupes are a little bit glowing, right? That is mostly because we have built a nuclear power plant, and the radiation is quite intense. Yep. Now, unfortunate for us, our dupes that have been working in the reactor have been exposed to high amounts of radiation, which means they only can work in here for a little time. Right now, some of you guys suggested several methods to block the radiation that the reactor is emitting. One of which was to use the real-life equivalent of using lead. In real life, we use lead to block radiation, and well, I'm going to make a small experiment over here to see if lead is any different from any other materials. You guys also suggested plastic, so I also placed plastic over here. In these two areas we have both 71 red, so I kind of want to see if there is a difference between the two of them. Now these are materials that you will use on the outside of the reactor, not on the inside. First, because plastic will melt, and lead will block the flow of steam, which is terrible. We don't want that. You guys also suggested that I would put a layer of liquid over here to help block the radiation. I'm going to try that, however, I am a little bit concerned about it, because I have the slight impression that fluids absorb radiation and get contaminated by it, and then start emitting said radiation. But we'll experiment with it. I'm going to put a layer of supercoolant down. I just need to swap these two tiles around. You know, we need something to block the supercoolant. And other than that, I also wanted to try something else, which would be using airflow tiles. Now, unfortunately, we cannot make airflow tiles out of lead, so we'll make them out of gold right there, and I am going to see if that is going to absorb any radiation. Alright, my friends, so after building these 3 blocks, we can see that the lead lead metal tile blocks 68% of the radiation, the airflow tiles blocks nothing, 6%, and the plastic tile also blocks 68% of the radiation, which means that probably it would be a good idea to replace all of the outside tiles with plastic blocks, as these appear to be slightly better than the insulation. The insulation blocks 60%, so it's probably only going to make a minuscule amount on some areas like this one. If I knew this from the start, I would have made several layers of plastic surrounded by layers of insulation. But, you know, now we just have to adapt to our new circumstances. Alright, my friends, so with with this rocket now on this platform, and with the 1.0 version of the game launched, we can see that this is not a bug. This is a feature, okay? So I will have to take this into consideration once I, you know, start a new game. All, and I mean all, will have to have an Atmosuit dock inside of it. Otherwise, I will just have to be careful every single day of my existence while playing Oxygen Not Included, and I don't feel like doing that. So I already placed the suit on Harry because I knew he was coming. But yeah, guys, keep in mind that apparently this is something that is here to stay. But of course, that the game remembering who is the owner of what, that is too much to ask for, of course. Oh boy, I'm pretty sure there might be a mod out there somewhere that would allow the game to remember who is the owner of what building. Well, it would appear that the supercoolant will indeed help out, as the supercoolant is moving forward. We can see that the radiation was indeed blocked slightly, 18%. blockage. It's not bad, actually. I'm going to let another bottle of super coolant in here, and you know, now we have... there we go, we can deconstruct this now. Now we have a layer of liquid that is serving both as radiation protection and as a mean to transfer temperature between the cooling loop and the steam turbine. So it's a win-win situation, although the radiation blockage is not exactly the biggest thing in the world, but everything helps, I suppose. So a dupe doing the engineer's tune-ups gets around 20-something rads. If it is the only thing this dupe does regarding radiation the entire day, then it's not that much, like, it's not that big of a deal. They can get rid of 100 rads while going to the bathroom, so absorbing 25 degrees of 25 rads of 25 rads, it's not a huge concern. Really. Okay, so now that the dupes have recovered, I'm going to open up the reactor once again, so they finish up the remaining temperature shift tiles and the machinery that it is still broken, because I want to turn on this machine eventually. I already have 2 tiles of nuclear waste, which means this machine, this liquid pump, should start pumping this nuclear waste into this area over here to make sure that the temperature is uniform, although the temperature is pretty much the same across the entire steam chamber, but still, it's always an additional thing that we can do. Okay, so the dupes were pretty quick, I didn't even see them here, and I was laying down this protective shield, so let's turn this back on. Now, the reason why we are turning this liquid pump on only now is because we need a pool of nuclear waste. Reason for that is this water that is being emitted into the steam chamber needs to touch the nuclear waste, and this is not flowing. Why? What seems to be the problem? I messed this up. Most likely... No. Oh, yeah, this is backwards. Yeah. Ah. Crap. Oh well. Not the end of the world. We want that nuclear waste there eventually. It's just that chamber is not yet ready. And, well, the way to fix this is just to do this. We do this, right? We build another pipe there. We connect it to over there. We disconnect over here. And we disconnect over here. And then we connect like this. Fantastic. More work to be done inside of the reactor. Isn't this great? There we go. Problem solved. Now we are starting to input the nuclear waste over there, which should stabilize the temperature of the chamber if it wasn't already stabilized. Oh yeah, I was explaining this. The reason why we need the pool of nuclear waste. Yeah, so we have this water being dropped on top of the machinery, like the liquid pump. This part is mandatory because this water is what keeps the liquid pump temperature in check. If this is not happening, eventually the liquid pump is going to overheat, as we seen previously. Right. However, we don't want this liquid pump to absorb this water, right? And if there is nothing over here, that might happen because it takes the water a second to turn from water into steam. But if we have this layer of nuclear waste, first the water will never touch this block over here because it's going to turn instantaneously into steam the second it touches the nuclear waste on top of it. Now, over here, we are going to have to do a small experiment first. I want to launch this rocket. I'm going to do it in a little while. This rocket is ready to go, and I want to do that because I want to see if we have temperature bleed all the way over here. If the temperature of this tile doesn't increase, we can use either plastic or lead to create a better shielding for our dupes, because this silo was built before radiation was a thing, and I didn't take into consideration that we needed better protection. So now I have to make... Really? You did not deconstruct the drywall. Okay. So now I have to make do with what I have, and what I have is insulation, plastic, and lead. So yeah. If there is temperature bleed, we cannot use the plastic or lead because both things melt extremely easy. Now, depending on the temperature bleed, we might still be able to use lead, because lead only melts at 350 degrees, and we have a cooling loop going through here. So if I drop this by one tile and have this radiant pipe go through the lead shielding, it may be enough to prevent it from going into a critical temperature where it would melt and cause a whole bunch of problems to us, right? And yeah, if the temperature is not... Like, if there is zero temperature bleed, I'm going to use plastic, because plastic is a far more abundant material that has exactly the same result. Emergency! We have an emergency. I did not take into... I forgot completely about these dupes. We have to send them home, right now? It is going to take 1.7 cycles. Okay, that's not a lot. Because, we have no oxygen. Yeah, that's terrible. That's completely terrible. Oh my god. I'm sorry, dupes. I completely forget about you. But don't worry too much about them. If we go over here... Right? If we completely run out of oxygen, we have that gas can over there. Let me see... It doesn't say... yeah, 600 kilograms of oxygen inside of a can. That is going to be more than enough to keep our dupes happy for a, you know, a reasonable amount of time. So I just need to keep an eye on them now and prevent them from suffocating to death. But yeah, I want to send these rockets back into space to get us more uranium and more materials. The uranium fields have not yet completely refilled, but this one is close to being filled up, so I'm going to send a petroleum rocket into that one, and I'm going to send the liquid hydrogen rocket towards this one to get us some glass and copper, and the iron ore and sand are always welcome as well. Alright, my friends, with the lead shield built, we now have a fairly more safe area around our reactor, but still is not an area where our dupes want to linger, right? Right, but with that said, it is time for us to move to our second experiment and see if this is going to be affected by the heat too much. Let's go over here. Gossman is going to be our pilot for the day. She's going into this astro field. Let me show you this one. This one has obsidian and copper for us. Other than that, I think that's it. Everything is ready to go. Yes, yes, yes. Begin launch. Let's go into the temperature overlay and see how much bleed we have over here. It starts at 23. It's a little bit bad, but not too much. Oh yeah, lead can most definitely survive this temperature. Okay, nice. Good to know, because now we can go over here, select the lead thingies, and by the way, apparently lead is better than other materials, because lead has a blocking factor of 68%, while other materials such as aluminum has a blocking factor of 62%, so there is some use for the lead after all. Mesh tiles, we select the lead, we come over here, and we go like this. With the cooling loop going through that, it's even going to be nice to the point that we get that temperature exchange done quicker, at least in this area. What happens over here, it's whatever, we don't really care too much. The temperature of the nuclear waste is whatever, right? So cool, we might even be, we are able to save our nuclear silo and be able to use the nuclear waste to create more rad bolts. Now guys, our future is going to be somewhat nuclear when it comes to rocketry. Nuclear rockets are going to become the more, shall we say, sustainable form of rocketry. Because we'll be able to produce a vast amount of rad bolts in a few moments, right? Once this is completely full, we'll have a bunch of nuclear waste, extremely radioactive, here waiting to be collected. And because of that, well, a new design of rocket is necessary once again. Because now we have to find a way to fit the ginormous lead suit dock inside of this rocket, and still have all the other amenities that our trucker dupes are used to. That is going to be a challenge, because that is effectively a 4x4 space that is, well, wasted on this. So I'll have to see what I come up with, but this is for now the initial design, pretty much exactly like all the other rockets, but the exception here is that we are going to draw oxygen from within the cabin to sustain the suit itself, because unfortunately we don't have space outside to build a gas thingy. If we build a gas container, we are only going to have one slot for one solar panel, and that is like not enough. That's not enough, and then that would mean that we would have to build a manual generator somewhere inside of this thing, plus a battery. And that's more space that we don't have to waste on such things. So, yeah, this is our future now. Well, I'm going to be honest, I'm almost tempted to accept Bert as another trucker dupe if it wasn't for the fact that he is a mouth breather, which pretty much just increases his oxygen consumption drastically, and because of that I'm not going to accept it, because, you know, Bert is going to spend the rest of his days trapped inside of a rocket where oxygen is very limited. So I don't think it is a good idea. But still, this is the first pilot dupe that I get in a very, very long time. Alright, my friends, so Frankie just arrived on the planet from the... Oh no, don't tell me. I can see a suit being transported, and yeah, that's what I thought. Don't worry, Frankie, someone will be with you shortly. You are safe where you are. But yeah, I'm going to send Frankie on the cargo rocket now to the gold planet, because just came here out of curiosity, and we have almost over 60 ton of stuff to come and grab. So let's go get that gold, because I'm running low on the yellow stuff, and that's always a very useful material. Okay, my friends, so given the situation with the cabin turning from crew to all automatically, measures needs to be implemented to safeguard the safety of our dupes. The only way that I remembered that we can do that, you know, remember the player, hey, your rocket is about to land, maybe you want to take care of your dupes, is to create some sort of space scanner attached to an automated notifier. Unfortunately, I thought, you know, that it would have an option like meteor shower and rockets, right? And it would notify you whenever a rocket is coming back into the planet. But no, if you want to do this, you have to waste a bunch of power, because these bad boys consume 120 watts of energy. So yeah, I'm going to do this for like rockets that I know are risky, like for example this one, the one that Gaussman is at. Let me see, I forgot the name. Adeos 9. So whenever the Adeos 9, or in this case Adeos 11 is coming back into the planet, this should send a green signal into this thing that should notify me, rocket incoming. There we go. So hopefully this will prevent Gaussman from suffocating in the vacuum of space. Well, guys, I had told you that I was not going to touch the uranium biome, but maybe I was wrong about that. And why I say that is because I've been monitoring our fuel supply, and although we have been able to produce more fuel than we are spending, uh, we were able to reach a quantity of around 200 kilograms at one point, and we were never able to get into that amount again, because well, the asteroids are depleted and we have to wait for them to resupply. Although, let me see, yeah, they are still very far from being resupplied, all of them, so we have to wait for that, which means that we are not bringing resources home. And because of that, we are consuming more fuel than we are producing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a team of dupes over here. Maybe not Lindsay and Nails. They are needed in the colony. Probably a digger and someone else, just to help them out. And we are going to carve out this part of the biome until this part of here. Okay, we are going to leave the betas alone for a little while. Because betas are very difficult to keep alive, and I'm afraid that if I break into their biomes that are at a vacuum at this moment, that might kill them, because the betas can only live in negative temperatures. And well, I don't wish to murder them without any reason, so I think I'm just going to carve out this area that is going to give us a good chunk of uranium, and then we can just transport it home via our cargo rocket. And while those dupes are here, we can also dig out a little bit more of this gold and any other resources that are still laying around and up for the grabs. So I'm thinking about sending Mima and Joshua, here we go, on this journey. Joshua is not capable of doing anything great other than transporting, but he can help out, you know, transporting things around, and Mima will just focus on digging out most of the stuff that we need. So, with the crew selected, let's call them in, change the destination back into the gold planet, which I believe is this one, yep, and just wait for them to arrive and send them on their way. Okay, so with the crew in, it is time to send them on their way. Now, I'm not going to create a ginormous row of space scanners by any means. No. I just want to have one space scanner per rocket that doesn't have a atmosuit dock, and that is going to let me know whenever one of our mining rockets is coming back, because the mining rockets are the ones without any docks. So if this works correctly, I will let you guys know. Okay, so that was quick. Our dupes are already here. This is already all. So let's start by digging down over here, creating a ladder that goes all the way to this level. And then we are just going to strip out the good stuff and leave the rest behind. Okay, my friends, our red rocket with a lead suit dock is ready to go. Only thing left to do is to add... where's the other thingy? It is a checkpoint. Fantastic. Now, one thing that I have to be honest, this thing, the mini gas pump, I don't think is going to stay. We are going to test it out. And just for one dupe coming in, getting his suit filled up, going into space, coming out, and just leaving afterwards, it's perfectly fine. But this thing takes a long time just to fill up this pipe. You guys, it took like almost one full cycle just to fill up this pipe, which I built as a, let's call it reserve or buffer, because the lead docks, they only take 800 kilograms versus the 200 of a regular dock, so they need to be filled up more regularly, and that's why I had the... Oh, rocket incoming! Thank you for letting me know who is incoming. I need to pay attention now, because there is one rocket about to land, and it is the Uranus 4. Oh, hello? What is going on? Oh, use this one. Okay. Okay, so the rocket has arrived, and this prevented Nicola from having his eardrums popped by the vacuum of space. Now, there is another way that you can do this particular thing, simply by adding a automation wire to the output, I mean, of the rocket platform, and then building an automated notifier. You will be notified the second the rocket touches down, and you can even select it to pause, which means the dupe is not going to leave the rocket, and you don't have to waste power using the space scanners. So that's another way you can also work around this issue. Oh, and it would appear that Nicola brought us an encrusted teapot. Fan-freaking-tastic! Another artifact that we still didn't had. Okay, my friends, so I'm going to send these rockets back into space, and like I told you, I set up these two automated notifiers. They are going to pause the game and zoom in. Yeah, they didn't get melted, obviously, these are made out of tungsten. There is another rocket incoming, probably... nothing? Huh. None of them is showing any scans. Okay. In any case, this should now pause the game, zoom to this location, which will allow me to force the dupe to dress the suit back once again, and this way we should prevent any mishaps from happening. Okay, my friends, so Gossman is back. I got a fair warning from that thing of the... Oh, hello. Come on, touchdown, 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 and... Stop the game immediately, go to the interior, set to crew, search for the lead suit, and Gossman, please get that suit dressed. Okay. It's munch time, so she's going to wait a little bit. But I'm going to transfer Gossman from this rocket into this rocket probably tomorrow, and we are going to test this one out, send it into some okay, this is a checkpoint. For a moment I thought, did my dumbass self build another lead suit dock instead of a checkpoint? But no. Okay, just give me a moment while we wait for the night time to go away. But before we go, moon. Ah, a moon. Very small. Okay, cool. And another office mug. Okay, my friends, it is time for us to send Gossman on our second nuclear rocket, and I really need to take care of the cooling loop. Okay, I got it. Thank you. I really need to take care of the cooling loop, yep, because of this. Without the cooling loop, the lead is going to melt, because apparently, you know, when I first tested this... Jesus, this is annoying. When I first tested this, the tile barely heated up to 65 something or something like that. But because this is a metal tile, it absorbs temperature much quicker, and therefore it melted almost immediately. Oh well. It is what it is. Now this warning. Disregard that. This is mostly due because, as you can see, we have plenty of nuclear waste. Nuclear waste occupies space and therefore compresses the steam slightly, which means that we have reached the max pressure allowed, and we are now removing a few bits of water here and there, but eventually this warning is going to go away. Okay, my friends, so the signal has turned green because the maximum amount of nuclear waste was reached, right? And now we are transporting said nuclear waste into our rocket silo. Let's go over here, which means that we are transporting the radiation with us, right? Not really. Nope. That's fine. The second this nuclear waste gets bombarded by the exhaust of the Red Bolt engine, it will turn radioactive once again. But I was expecting, because if we go over here, it seems like the nuclear waste is contaminated by radiation. And so I was expecting said radiation to travel along the pipe, maybe even turn this pipe slightly radioactive. But apparently that's not the case. As we can see, 0 rats, completely safe. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, once this gets bombarded by the exhaust, it's going to be radioactive once again, and therefore we'll be able to collect said radiation with the red bolt generators. I just have one in here for now, because once again I just want to test out a few things. I want to see if we can submerge it underneath the nuclear waste, or if it's going to say some warning like flooded or not functioning, something like that, you know. Over on this planet, our dupes are finishing up the cleaning efforts. They have mined out all of this, and all the uranium that we had over here has already been delivered via rails and transported to our planet. Over here I went after this biome. If I had more time, I would dig out even more uranium, because there is still plenty of uranium that we can access without breaking the beta chambers. Unfortunately, our oxygen is running dangerously low, so I'm just going to let them finish up and pick up most of the stuff that they still have on the floor, and then I'm going to send them back just to resupply the rockets, because there is still plenty of resources that we want to get our hands on. Alright, another journey, 2 extra tons of uranium ore. Let's get out of here so we can keep on transporting goods. And yeah guys, just taking the resources from this planet was all that we needed to pretty much be able to fabricate all the fuel that we are ever going to need. If eventually, one day, we really, I mean really need more fuel, we can always come into these beta hives. After all, they have, well, this doesn't have none, but some of them have almost 5 tons of enriched uranium, so we don't even need to fabricate our own. We can just come over here and steal theirs. Although, like I said, I would like to avoid getting into these chambers, but if we really need it, there is a place where we can get it. So, cool. Okay, my friends, so before the end of the episode, I would like to go back to the ice planet. The crew is already inside. What is the warning? There is no warning. Begin launch sequence, please. Because on the comment sections, you guys told me that the temporal tear opener that is located right here has the line of sight obstructed because it requires 5 tiles and not 3. So I kinda want to send some dupes over here to deconstruct these tiles and see if that is going to help out. And besides, there is always more stuff to do around this place, so having dupes over here would not be that bad. Alright, so Gossman is back, and now we can see that the radiation, the nuclear waste, got contaminated with a bunch of radiation, and it is emitting a powerful amount of rad bolts. It is still not exactly as in here, it's not almost 7,000 rads, but it's a significant amount. 2,000 rads is not that bad. So this is going to conclude our quote-unquote testing of the nuclear rocket silos. The radiation is blocked fairly well with the lead shield, but before I can do anything else, as we could see, the lead melts pretty easily, which means I really need to get this cooling loop up and rolling. It's still a little bit too cold in here, but over time the temperature has been increasing slightly, and eventually it is going to be good enough that we can have liquid water, finally. And why is that important? Because I need a 3-layer liquid over here to expel all the gases out of here, otherwise this steam chamber is not going to be functional. And I really don't want to build any pumps in here. Not exactly a thing that I want to do, so I really need to wait until this area is capable of sustaining the water in its liquid form, because the brine and polluted water, they can withstand the temperature that it is already, but the water cannot. Okay, so it would appear that you guys are correct. Not only as the Radbolt port as open, and we now can see that it no longer says line of sight obstructed, but it says charging progress, 0%. Okay, cool, so now I need to find a radiation source. I mean, space is a radiation source. I don't know, I probably am going to do the Wizward thingy over here. On the side, I just need to send a little bit of dirt this way to be able to build the planter pots. And I'm going to charge them using the power from here and here. So cool. Time to get my ends going. Well, my friends, it has been long since we accepted a dupe into our colony, but Harold over here, it's seeming rather interesting. We only have one digger dupe, which is Mima. When she is away on the mission, we need someone else to pick up the pace. That someone else is going to be Harold. Given that he has increased Grease Monkey, when he is not digging or building, he can be operating machines. So, Harold, welcome to the colony. Okay, my friends, so we have our Radbolt collection thingy over here. It's not exactly super fancy, it's just one thingy over here, collecting 900 Radbolts per cycle. I made a memory toggle over here, quite simple. One tick of the signal switch activates the memory toggle. Once enough Radbolts have been generated that this thing is full and therefore the Radbolt will continue, we'll hit the Radbolt sensor, which is going to tick green. That green tick is going to reset the memory toggle and is going to turn off the Radbolt generator, because we don't have access to a lot of power over here. In fact, we only have access to pretty much just the solar panels and that's it. In fact, I should even try and make another... Oh no, that's going to... Yeah, that's going to block the temporal tear, so yeah, two of these is all that we have to provide power until at least this thing is up and rolling. Oh well, my friends, we are almost there. Oh wow, this thing already is producing steam. Interesting. And sand, apparently. Oh well. Now I closed up the steam chamber and I let them loose a little bit because I want them to melt that ice and polluted ice and stuff like that. All the meltables that we have inside of that thingy, I want them melted and ready to go, so these things can start to work and generate some power for this colony. After all, the Radbolt generators are a power guzzler, and we need that electricity. But I think this is going to be where we are going to stop. We are one step closer on opening that temporal tear. I think that I'm now going to try and focus on that, given that we have moved past the nuclear power plant. Now we have all the power that we are ever going to need, so I don't think that we need to focus on that any longer. But with that said, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!